Hello, my name is Jonas Johansen from the Jazz Explorer Trio, and I'm very thrilled to perform for SPIC MACAY. It's a fantastic organization. We've played at the festival, I think that was 2018 maybe, and we had the most wonderful concerts, many places in India today. This was lovely to be able to play for this the young people. We played for smaller children too, and a little bigger kids too, but basically to see this crowd of young people listening to and digging into the music, that's a great pleasure. And usually there's very much support from the local teachers and from SPIC MACAY to get people to listen, and we present it most respectfully every time. Often we can receive a present, as we also did today, and it's always a warming and really nice experience. Something that makes a lot of sense in our life as artists and musicians. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So you presented some of the traditional jazz compositions with us. So how you experience the similarity when you present that to various audiences across the world?
I think mostly if you play music that has a certain emotional content and that has some rhythm that we can all feel in our body, then it's pretty much the same. If it's in Denmark, or if it's in USA, or if it's in India. Now, of course, in India and New York and in Denmark, there are certain types of audiences who have really listened very carefully to specific styles. And then the reception is a little different. But for coming to a school like this, it's pretty much like coming to a school in Denmark. Except perhaps that sometimes Indian audiences are used to sitting down a little longer than you can in the West.
Thank you, sir. Sir, would you like to add? You've been on the tour from Delhi to Mumbai now, then Bangalore again.
Yeah. So we are on our way. We started in Delhi, we've been to Mumbai, then Kardia, Pune, then we're coming back to Mumbai, going to Bangalore. So we are a little bit traveling around in India, getting to get all the spices and colors and sensations from the different cities in this part of India.
Sir, you presented Rag Jog today.
Yeah.
So it was an Indian Rag, and it almost felt like listening to there was no difference when you presented that. So we felt like genres really matter, or you perceive it as a universal?
It's hard to say now. There's something about the blues where Rag Jog is very similar to the bluesy part of jazz music, and so there's this similarity. I think is nice to explore, but also it's nice to talk about so that people can feel that we have some common roots. We have something in common that's not so far away. But it's important for me to say that I was not trying to play traditional Indian raga style. That's not what we do. We play jazz.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, I would like to say that, to my understanding, the vast majority of concerts hosted by SPIC MACAY deals with Indian music, and of course, because that's sort of the purpose of SPIC MACAY. So we feel very honored to be invited to be sort of an outside voice, and yes, we try to learn about Indian music, and we really appreciate the invitation to be the outsiders to come into this forum. And I also want to say that I'm very impressed by the amount of volunteers and how much work they do for the organization, and how dedicated they are to presenting music to both to young kids and all the way up to university. So thank you for that.
And sir, what are your thoughts? How you can do you think that students can take up jazz music in India? They can learn from you and in a way.
Well, there's a big difference between being a listener of music and to be a practitioner of music. If you want to really play jazz, I think it's a good idea to go to where the jazz was born, and all of us went to New York and to LA and to the United States at different points in our careers to really learn from the sort of where the music was born. And the same way, if you want to study Indian music, well, you can get some of the way by studying in Europe or where we live, but if you're really serious about it, you should come here. And I think that goes for all music. If you're really serious about music, you have to go where that music was born to really understand it. You don't have to spend your whole life there, but you have to visit and get the and spend some time there to get into it. And Lars spent a lot of time in India, and he's more advanced than Jonas and me in terms of understanding the nuances of classical Indian music, and we're trying to learn, and we also at the same time very we try to learn, but we also are not trying to play we're not trying to compete with, I mean, there's no way we could really play Indian music, but what we can do is what Lars also talked about from the stage, that jazz has this thing of taking influences from wherever, whether it's Caribbean music or Indian music or folk music from different parts of the world. So this is what our attitude. We try to steal a little bit of the best parts from everywhere we go and incorporate it into our music.
Wow.
Well spoken.
So you've developed your own style by incorporating all the.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's it. All right.
Thank you.
We thank you and are grateful to you for coming and giving your precious time and sharing your knowledge with the students of our country, various cities. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And we also thank our principal ma'am of Achievers College, Kalyan, Mumbai, for your gracious support and your so much patronage towards the arts, and we value your continued support and association.
Thank you so much. Even we look forward to your association in future.
Thank you so much, ma'am.